Hey guys, welcome to Medicine Stands Still. So this is the first chapter of medieval medicine. So Hippocrates and Galen. Hippocrates, he had the four humour theory. So the four humour theory involved a black bile, yellow bile, phlegm and blood, and the idea that if any of them were in deficiency or excess or not mixed and separate, then disease was caused, and illness, and different seasons, different foods affected it, the balance of the four humours, and also bloodletting was tried to cure the balance and restore it. Hippocratic oath is still taken today. Hippocrates is seen as the father of modern medicine. Now Galen took Hippocrates' ideas further. The church obviously accepted Galen's ideas. They compromised well with the church, so they tried to prevent any new ideas and instead only supported Galen. So, for example, the body was blamed rather than Galen's work, or time and how time had evolved the body rather than Galen's mistakes. So, because Galen had performed dissection on animals, not humans, but he applied it to human knowledge. Who treated the sick? Well, we had the barbers, the doctors, if you were rich enough, apothecary, wise women, a lady of the house, church, and a shrine of the saint. We also had different causes of illness, for example, bad smell. So miasma, the idea that bad smell is linked to bad disease. Everyday life, so childbirth, dying in childbirth was common, disease was common, so it was just accepted by society. God, so the idea God was punishing, illness was a sin due to the result of your sins. We also had supernatural, so witches and witchcraft, they caused illness. And last but not least, the four humours. So if they were balanced, if they were not balanced, then illness was caused. Islamic medicine contributed a lot too. So Avicenna, he translated and preserved texts, and they spread to the West. He translated them in such a way that it was able to spread. Raza, he wrote the first authentic smallpox symptoms. Now Islamic medicine also played a part because they preserved the text, for example, in Caliph, and Canaan, as well as the fact that they encouraged cleanliness, and they had a doctrine of signatures. Doctrine of signatures meant that they felt like if God had created a disease, he also created a cure for it, so they should encourage finding a cure rather than restrict it. They also believed, attached university to hospitals, so doctors gained practical experience. What were the different diagnoses and treatments? So you had zodiac charts, where zodiac signs and horoscopes were used, and astrology. We also had urine chart, so the doctor would smell and taste the urine. Some treatments included trepanning, so drilling a hole in the skull to let the demons out, amputations, of cutting the limb, as well as the bloodletting, so letting blood flow out to restore the four humour balances. Antiseptics used were, for example, wine, alcohol, and pain and shock were obviously very common. Impact of Christianity, so they obviously didn't allow dissection. Similar to Islam, they didn't allow dissection either. Christianity, they also restricted the amount of new ideas. They all accepted Galen and Hippocrates. They treated the ill people as sinners rather than sufferers, and doctors couldn't get practical experience until 7 years after they graduated, so that wasn't very helpful either. Medieval hospitals are very limited. So, for example, no lunatics, no pregnant women. There was no specialist hospitals, as well as the fact that they were very tightly spaced, limited amount, and they prayed. And the church was obviously very influential. So care, not cure. Then we had towns and cities. So towns, they had the advantage of the fact that they had Roman sewage system supplies already in place. They also had local guilds trying to encourage cleanliness, as well as some laws. For example, 1371, they said no animal could be killed within the city walls. And bath houses too, where you can pay to get a bath. So those are the advantages. Disadvantages include tanning and chemicals were released into the rivers, causing the great effluence and the great stink. You also had the for example, privies and cesspits were not cleaned, as well as blood and waste, animal waste and feces were also everywhere, and butchers everywhere, and sewage from the bakeries, as well as out of date food was also sold. So it's not very set. Monasteries, they were isolated and from the rest, so there's less chance of epidemic. We also had the fact that they redirected a river supply, so clean water reached Another advantage was that they had strict discipline, strict diet, so cleanliness was encouraged. This meant that the pupils could get healthier. They also were very well educated on the medical knowledges, Hippocrates and Galen's work, and the other sources of authority. They also had the used herbs to try and treat people, as well as prayers, so that helped too. Black Death. So what did people think were the causes? So as I said, the bad smell, disease. You also had the Jews trying to poison the wells, but the actual cause was about a bacteria spread by fleas biting rats and then spreading. So what were some of the treatments? So flagellation, whipping yourself to ask forgiveness from God, bathing in urine 3 times a day or drinking it once a day, killing the cats and dogs, so these were preventatives as well. Charms and potions were preventatives, praying to God was a preventative, popping your buboes, avoiding excitement, lack of entertainment, etc. So people didn't have really a proper cure. Some impacts include, for example, the 400% wage rise of peasants because lack of workers left. The image of death was common. Culture and art portrayed death in such a way. You also had the common arts. So you also had landlords seeing a decrease in land price, as well as the feudal system collapse. Harsh laws will try to prevent the peasant freedom. Churches closed down because priests died, and opposition groups against the church were set up. Peasants started living more carelessly because they felt like they had been forgiven by God, and 30% of England and Wales population had been killed. So this was all of Medicine Stands Still. That's done.